So after a shitload of requests and 500 subscribers later, it's time for me to finally get down and dirty with Sonic and Sega All-Star Racing. Now, I'm not kidding when I mean I got a lot of requests. I got a shit ton of requests to review this game ever since it first came out. And I apologize for only getting to it now, but I've had a lot of shit to do in these last few months. And, well, the new downloadable content just came out too, so I figured now is the right time to get to it before I start my month of Metroid, which starts on May 1st. So, does Sonic and Sega All-Star Racing completely shit on titles like Sonic Drift and Sonic R? Let's find out. So yeah, like I said earlier, I consider this video a thank you gift to all of my subscribers out there. Without you guys, making videos just wouldn't be as much fun. So alright, Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing. You know what, I gotta say, putting an emphasis on Sonic's name on the title is a pretty cheap way to draw in buyers. I mean, yeah, most of the cast are Sonic characters, but that's only because Sonic's the most popular of the Sega franchises. Just leave it at Sega All-Stars Racing. Hell, you didn't call it Sonic and Sega Superstar Tennis, did you? But let's go back a bit. Now, when this game was announced, people were already quick to be skeptical about it. And you know what? I couldn't blame them. The last time Sonic was in a car was back in Sonic Drift, and it sucked. And then there was a sequel, and it sucked too. Then of course there was Sonic R, which I already reviewed a few months ago. Not terrible, but not great either. So nearly 13 years later, here we are with another Sonic racing game. To begin with, there's absolutely no story of any kind. This is a racing game in its purest form, so I guess that's a good thing, right? Anyway, in terms of characters, this game actually has quite a number of racers. If you're a Sega nut, then you'll probably recognize a lot of faces here. Representing the Sonic the Hedgehog series, we have Sonic the Hedgehog, duh, Dr. Eggman, Tails, Knuckles, Amy, Shadow, and Big the Cat. Nah, I'm kinda sick of saying that. Metal Sonic is also available now as downloadable content, so if you have the Xbox 360 version or the PS3 version, then have at it. Joining them is Ai from Super Monkey Ball, Amigo from Samba de Amigo, Billy Hatcher from Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg. Was that game any good? Anyway. Beat from Jet Set Radio, Ooh La La from Space Channel 5, BD Joe from Crazy Taxi, Zobio and Zobiko from House of the Dead EX. What the hell kind of game is that? Oh, Japan only game. We also get Ryu Hazuki from Shenmue, Jackie and Akira from Virtual Fighter, Robo and Mobo from Bonanza Brothers, Chewy, Chew-B, Chew-P, and Chew-Bok from Choo Choo Rocket. Try saying Chew that many times, it's fun. Opa Opa from Fantasy Zone, Alex Kidd the Forgotten, and of course the console exclusive characters. If you got a Wii, it's your Mii, and if you got the Xbox 360 version, you got Banjo-Kazooie, along with your avatar. PlayStation 3 was pretty much screwed over. So yeah, that's quite a number of characters, but something feels missing. Oh wait, Knights. What happened to Knights? Oh dude, he's been demoted to Flagman! Well, that's gonna piss off my friend Russ. And hold on a second, that's Rystar. So, you include characters like the Choo Choos but omit Knights and Rystar. Sega, it's called DLC, you better use it. But that's enough about the characters, let's get into the gameplay. Alright, so if you're familiar with how racing games usually work, then you should be able to jump right in. I'm going to assume you're playing the Xbox 360 version. To accelerate, you press and hold down the R trigger. You move left and right with the analog stick, and you can press the X button to see what's behind you. When you nab an item, you can press the A button to use it. Now I know what you're thinking. Items? Oh well, shit, I bet they're just as bad and broken as Mario Kart. Actually, you'd be very wrong. The items in this game are surprisingly toned down. I mean, some of them can be kind of effective, but overall they're mostly ineffective. Take this item for example, the rainbow. It's supposed to block your view, but I gotta say, I can see just fine through it. Punching gloves are somewhat effective, but most of the time it won't matter much. Speed shoes are pretty nice, and so are the homing missiles as well as the shield. But everything else is just there. So with mostly ineffective items, that means the game has a much heavier emphasis on skill. And that's where the L trigger comes in. By pressing down the L trigger, your character will begin to drift. Besides allowing you to make sharp turns, by holding down the button, your car will begin to build up boost charges, represented by growing fire on the back of your character's vehicle. When you have a charge, you can release the drift button to get a boost in speed. I think about every character has a limit of 3 boost charges per drift, so when you max out, let go of that button and watch your car fly. This is the game's core mechanic. The difference between a good racer and a bad racer is all about how well you can drift. Sure, there's also shortcuts and such, but if your competition knows that they're there, then again, it's all about the drifting. But of course, besides the previously mentioned items and drifting, we also have all-star moves. Each character has their own personal all-star move, which can range from Sonic transforming into Super Sonic, Amy smashing people with her Pico Hammer, and Ryu using a forklift. I don't know, I never played Shenmue. And I think I just lost 25 subscribers for just saying that. All-star moves are nothing more than equalizers. They're only given to you when you're either dead last or just plain suck at racing. With that being said, if you fail to capitalize after using them, then you'll probably just end up dead last again. So don't go thinking you can abuse these items, because it's much more complicated than that. In terms of tracks, this game contains about 24 of them. 24. That definitely kicks the shit out of Sonic R in terms of sheer numbers. The locations are taken from all kinds of Sega games, a lot of them being from, of course, Sonic the Hedgehog. Musically speaking, besides the menu theme and the results screen, every single piece of music in this game is ripped from other games. Not remixes or arrangements, no, the exact same songs. Sometimes it works. I'm quite pleased that some Sonic Adventure music pieces made it in, but do Sonic Rush tracks really belong in a racing game? Oh, and yes, there's even some musical tracks from Sonic R. Oh, it's not that bad. Super Sonic Racing is a pretty kick-ass song. Whenever you finish a race, you earn Sega Miles. Simply put, it's money. And with it, you can purchase additional tracks, music pieces, and other characters. It's pretty basic, so there's no need to go too into that. So, like any other racing game, this one comes with your usual Grand Prix mode, multiplayer, time trial mode, and online. For the best competition, I recommend online mode, but trust me, you will need to bring in your A game for that. Some people are just outright ridiculous, and I swear they do shit that's outright impossible. No! The computer AI can range from proficient racers to absolute retards. You can change the difficulty to better suit your level of challenge, but I recommend either advanced or expert. Beginner is just plain silly. Besides all-star moves, they rarely use any other items they pick up. Well, wait, maybe they're just aware of how ineffective the items can be. If that's the case, then maybe they're just ahead of the curve. But yeah, raise up that level of difficulty and you'll be a better person for it. Now, graphically speaking, it's pretty nice. The character models, while a bit rough around the edges, look pretty sweet, and the environments perfectly reflect the locations they're based on. It definitely makes me feel like I'm playing something published by Sega. The aesthetic values are also nice too, and look, even the load times reference the adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog with quick little tips labeled as Sonic Says, though the advice can be just plain bizarre sometimes. However, in spite of the good things I mentioned, I do have my problems. First and foremost, I can't stand how character voices are recycled voice clips from other games. Mainly the Sonic characters. I'm not sure if this applies to the characters from the other franchises. It just comes off as lazy, and a lot of voice clips they use sound so inappropriate for this game. It's like they have no idea they're in a racing game.
Who are you, and how do you know my name?
Pingers! Alright, it's not that bad, but you get the point. Secondly, although the game itself is pretty well structured, it doesn't do that much to differentiate itself from other kart racers. Whenever I see the use of items, I think of Mario Kart, and whenever I use the drift, I always think of Crash Team Racing. There's nothing about this game that feels fresh and new to me. Nothing sticks out. Because of this, you might get pretty bored with the game unless you stick to multiplayer or online. But hey, if you enjoy games like Mario Kart or Crash Team Racing but prefer characters from the Sega universe, then by all means, give it a shot. I think it's pretty obvious at this point, but this is definitely the best racing game that Sonic's ever been in. It completely shits on titles like Sonic Drift and Sonic R, and the competition can be quite furious at times, especially online. Local multiplayer is quite fun as well, and it leaves you with plenty to do. So yes, it's a great game. You can stop worrying now. Ow! I'll give it an 8.0 out of 10. With all that said, I'm Johnny of the Super Game Brothers. You guys have a great night. Thank you for watching. Month of Metroid begins on Saturday, so stay tuned.
To the eye!